Good morning, everybody. In the previous classes, we were studying about the February Revolution. Then we studied about the October Revolution and what changes had come after the October Revolution. That the Bolshevik Party was renamed as Russian Communist Party. The Bolshevik, they failed to gain the support of the majority. Russia at that time became the party of one party, one state party. Now we are going to deal with the civil war. Civil war. What happened during the civil war? Non-Bolshevik socialist, liberals and supporters of autocracy condemned the Bolshevik uprising. They were not in the favor of Bolshevik party. Their leaders moved to South Russia and organized troops to fight the Bolsheviks. They were called as Reds. In short, Bolshevik party was called as Reds. During 1918 and 1919, this was the time when the First World War was about to end. The Greens, known as the socialist revolutionaries and whites, known as pro-Tsarist, controlled most of the Russian Empire. So we can see that the Russia had three categories. One were in favor of the Bolshevik party. The second, who were against the Bolshevik, they were the Greens and the Tsars, the Whites. The Whites, known as post-Tsarist, that the Nicholas II, who was the ruler of that time. as these troops and the Bolsheviks fought a civil war, looting, banditry, and famine became common. So any person who got a chance to rob anyone, to take money from anyone, right, that became very common. Like looting, it said looting and banditry. By January 1920, now at this time the First World War was over. The Bolsheviks controlled most of the former Russian Empire. They succeeded due to cooperation with non-Russian nationalists and Muslim jihadists, jihadists. So that most non-Russians nationalists were given political autonomy in the Soviet Union, known as USSR. The state of the Bolsheviks the Bolshevik created from the Russian Empire in December 1922. This way, the whole complete USSR broke in the Soviet Union. Now, during this time, there came the making a socialist society. a process of centralized planning was introduced officials assessed how the economy could work and set targets for a 5-year period. And on this basis, they made the 5-year plans. So you can see that in our political system, any government that is made for 5 years, and they call it 5-year plan. Every government introduces new plans. We are in the 15th 5-year plan. And this industrial production increased between 1929 and 1933 by 100% in the case of oil, coal and steel. As this society had come due to and introduced new plans, an extended schooling system developed and arrangement were made for factory workers and peasants to enter universities. As April thesis or the Lenin's demand had already asked for industrialization, nationalization of banks, better working hours, better wages. So these were introduced. Creeks were established in factories for the children and children's of women workers. In this whole process, cheap public health care was provided. These all changes had been taken place for the development of the people of Russia, because there was a lot of hardship had been seen by the people, by the leaders, and they wanted a revolution. Model living quarters were set up for workers. As people were very facing hardship, agriculture was not done, First World War was going in the year 1914 to 1919, and thereafter people had to face a lot of things. They were moving from one place to another in search of job, and wherever the industries had been set up where people could find job, but for residents it was a problem. So the people who were owning industries, they themselves made some rooms, some quarters for the workers where they could stay. They had come from outside, far away places, and there was a problem for the residents from outsiders. So once again, the model living quarters was set up for workers where they could live in proper manner. Their conditions were good. A healthy environment for living was being set up.